You're 6 years old, sitting at your grandfather's dining table. There's a ring on his finger you've never seen on anyone else. A compass and a square, interlocking, made of gold. You ask what it means. He smiles and says, "One day, maybe you'll find out." You don't think about it again for a long time. You're 19. College. Someone in your dorm mentions his dad is a Freemason. You laugh. He doesn't. He says it's not what the internet says it is. No lizards, no blood rituals, just a group of men who meet, help each other, and follow a tradition that goes back centuries. You're curious. He gives you a name. You make a call. And a few weeks later, you're sitting in a room with 12 men you've never met, answering questions about your life, your values, and what you think it means to be a good person. They vote. You don't see the vote. A week later, someone calls and says, "You've been accepted. You're 20. Your first initiation. The entered apprentice degree. You're blindfolded. Someone guides you by the arm through a room. You hear voices, but you can't see faces. There are symbols, words, handshakes, things you're told to memorize but never write down. It feels theatrical, a little strange, but also oddly serious, like something that's been done exactly this way for hundreds of years. Because it has. You're 23. You've passed through the 3 degrees: apprentice, fellowcraft, master mason. You've memorized lectures, participated in rituals, and spent countless evenings in a lodge with men 2 or 3 times your age. You've learned that Freemasonry is, at its core, a system of moral philosophy taught through allegory and symbolism. The compass teaches you to keep your desires in check. The square teaches you to deal honestly with others. The level reminds you that all people are equal. It's simple, almost disappointingly so. But the relationships aren't simple. You've made connections you never expected. Lawyers, doctors, business owners, teachers, retired military. Men who return your calls, who write recommendations, who open doors you didn't know existed. Nobody calls it networking, but that's what it is. You're 31. You've moved up. Not because you asked, but because you kept showing up. You're now the worshipful master of your local lodge, the highest position at that level. You lead the meetings. You guide new initiates through the same rituals you once stumbled through blindfolded. You settle disputes. You organize charity events. You give speeches about brotherhood and integrity to rooms full of men who've heard the same words 1,000 times but still listen. It's not glamorous. There's no throne, no secret vault. You spend more time on logistics, budgets, and event planning than on anything remotely mysterious. The biggest power you have is deciding what's for dinner after the meeting. You're 44. You've been elected to lead your state's Grand Lodge. You're now a Grand Master. This title sounds massive, and historically, it is. Grand Masters have included kings, presidents, prime ministers. George Washington was one. Benjamin Franklin was one. Winston Churchill was a Mason, though not Grand Master. The title carries centuries of weight. In practice, you oversee dozens of lodges across your state. You resolve conflicts between them. You represent Freemasonry at public events. You shake hands with politicians who want to be seen with you and politely decline journalists who want a quote they can twist. You travel constantly. Your wife jokes that you married the lodge, not her. She's half right. You're 52. Your name is known in Masonic circles internationally. You've visited lodges in London, Paris, Istanbul, Tokyo. Everyone is different, and everyone is the same. The same symbols, the same handshakes, the same ritual, adapted to 100 different cultures over 300 years. It's the closest thing to a global network that doesn't have a website or a CEO. But here's what the conspiracy theorists get wrong. There is no single leader of all Freemasons, no supreme commander, no hidden pope. Freemasonry is decentralized by design. Every Grand Lodge is sovereign. The Grand Master of England has zero authority over the Grand Master of California. There is no chain of command, no secret phone line to the top. The top doesn't exist, and that's the most interesting part. People imagine a pyramid with one all-seeing eye at the peak. In reality, it's more like a web. Thousands of nodes, loosely connected, each running independently. If you wanted to use Freemasonry to control the world, you'd first have to get 1 million men in 160 countries to agree on literally anything. And anyone who's ever been in a committee meeting knows that's harder than any conspiracy. You're 58. You've stepped down from the Grand Master position. Someone younger takes over. That's how it works. No one stays forever. You go back to your local lodge. You sit in the back row. A 20-year-old kid gets blindfolded and guided through the room, just like you were nearly 4 decades ago. He looks nervous. You smile. Because the truth about being at the top of the Freemasons is this: there is no top. There's no secret. There's no world domination. There's a ring, a handshake, and a room full of men trying to be slightly better than they were yesterday. Whether that's inspiring or disappointing depends entirely on what you were hoping to find.